Well, did anybody expect anything else? The Montreal Canadiens have not even lost Game 5 yet. I am recording this audio during the second period intermission as the Canes have taken a 5-0 lead. Montreal is going to lose. Montreal deserves to lose. But even though we can look at this Game 5, and heck, we can look at Games 2, 3, 4, and 5, and acknowledge how poorly the Montreal Canadiens have played, that does not change the fact that this season has been a success. The Montreal Canadiens had a really great 2025-2026 season, and I understand the angst. I understand the attitude that many Canadiens fans can and have displayed in regards to the way this team has performed, in regards to the way the team has underperformed in the Stanley Cup Playoffs, and particularly in this third round. But just take a look at it. The Montreal Canadiens were a top 10 team in the league. Sure, they were top 3 in their division because of the alignment and how many points these Atlantic teams were able to accrue, but the Habs scored 106 points this year in 82 games. Nick Suzuki had 100 points on the season individually. Cole Caulfield had 50 goals. Ivan Demidov, sure, he didn't win the Calder, but he was nominated for it. He was a 60-point guy this year. That's very encouraging for the future. Juraj Slafkovsky still has a ways to go before he becomes the best he can ever be, but he still scored 70 points this year and 30 goals. Lane Hutson established himself as a prime-time #1 defenseman in the National Hockey League. Noah Dobson proved to have been a great addition to this team. And then you have Jakub Dobes. Oh boy, Jakub Dobes. Is he the future in net for the Montreal Canadiens long term? I don't have the answer to that. But the fact that I don't have the answer to that question is a good sign, because it speaks to the quality of play that he has been able to provide the Canadiens in this playoff run, heck, in this playoff series even. Against the Carolina Hurricanes in round 3, yeah, it's true, Jakub Dobes has been letting in goals like crazy, and even today, 5 goals against at the time of recording this audio, maybe it becomes 6 by the time the game comes to an end. This is absolutely not the way the Montreal Canadiens drew it up, but at the end of the day, the Canadiens are just the inferior team. If they get shut out 5-0 in this game against Carolina, 5-0 or 6-0 or whatever, then combined with the 4-0 loss in Game 4, it would be, 2 straight games of Montreal not scoring any goals? Add on the third period of game number 3, where the Canadiens also weren't able to score. Was Lane Hutson's power play goal in the second period of Game 3 the last goal Montreal was able to score in this series? Take a look at it further back. Okay, Lane Hutson in Game 3 gets a goal in the second period. Mike Matheson gets a goal in the first period. Montreal lost 3-2 in that game, so obviously no forwards got in on the offense. In order to find the last Montreal Canadiens forward who has scored a goal in this series, you have to go back to Game 2 in the third period, where Josh Anderson tied things up 2-2. In fact, Josh Anderson got both goals in that game for Montreal, so you have to go all the way back to Game 1 to find a non-Josh Anderson forward that scored a goal on Freddie Andersen in this series. And I'm saying all of this fully knowing the Canadiens can score in the third period after I record this video and after I leave my house, because I've got plans that I can move up now because the Canadiens are absolutely terrible. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, the inner demons just came out. But I understand the Montreal Canadiens have the chance to score a goal, but I just don't really see it happening. If it does happen, then okay, great. You can let me know in the comments section that I was wrong. But even if I wasn't wrong, you think about the implications of how this team got shut down. Josh Anderson scored 2 goals in Game 2, and then from then, the team went the entirety of Game 3, the entirety of Game 4, and 2 periods of Game 5 without getting a single forward goal. The Habs totally played Carolina's game. They got shut down, beat down, and suffocated. The Montreal Canadiens, even on their power plays, could not get anything going because Carolina is just so aggressive. They outworked Montreal, they pushed Montreal to their limit and then pushed them even further. And we are taking a look at the makings of a potential championship caliber team. I don't know if I'm going to sit back and say I want Vegas to win because I want the team that defeated Montreal to lose, because obviously I'm a Canadiens fan. They're my second favorite team. Vancouver is my first. Or if I just straight up say, go Carolina at this point, take your one loss to the Stanley Cup Finals and then don't lose anymore because I want to see Vegas lose. But then again, that entire Marner thing of him winning the Conn Smythe, that's also a pretty hot topic as well. So I would not be disappointed if that went down in a way. But with all that said, the Montreal Canadiens had a great season. They just couldn't put it together when they needed to at the very end. They're tired. They're playing off against a well-rested Carolina team. Yes, the narrative at the beginning was that Montreal was hot. They were coming in with momentum. Maybe Carolina would be a little bit cold and unfazed for the first few moments of the series. And yeah, Montreal winning 6-2 in Game 1 definitely did set the tone. But Carolina woke up. They were like, oh, okay, we're playing. Let's go. And then they started to shut down Montreal forwards the rest of the way through. Only Josh Andersen since Game 2 has been able to get a goal, and he got 2 goals in that Game 2. Games 3, 4, and 5 up to this point have not seen any Canadian forward goals, and that's remarkable to me. Even if the Canadiens score, even if Slavkovsky gets a hat trick in the 3rd period of this Game 5, it's not going to be enough. They're down 5-0. They're not going to come back. They're not going to win. And I'm going to upload this video before the game even finishes, so if the Canadiens do pull off a comeback victory, then, hey, I look like a fool. Wouldn't be the first time, but it'd be so interesting to see that actually manifest as a comeback from behind 5-0 series elimination defying win. But I don't see it happening. At the end of the day, the Montreal Canadiens had a great season. We can reflect more on this as the days go on. For now, though, we just got to talk about the loss. Because there's no way this team is coming back. And you can talk about some of the intricacies of the game. Oh, there was a penalty that should have been called. Oh, Jakub Dobes got interfered with on the 1-0 goal, and the Canadiens ended up losing the coach's challenge, and everything was just off to a rough start for Montreal. By the time 5 minutes were done and the Habs were down in shots 5-1, it was like, okay, yeah, this is not going to go their way. By the time the Hurricanes got 3 goals, Montreal only had 7 shots. You can't expect to win like that. Oh, stand tall, Martin St. Louis said. Stand tall. I feel like Martin St. Louis at this point of the series is really showing off that he is a really great motivator, maybe one of the best talkers as a head coach and a person that his players want to rally behind. But I just don't know if the X's and O's in his system are really enough to take what is essentially the most perfect hockey team they've played so far in Carolina to the brink and potentially defeat them. I don't think it's possible at this point. And despite that fact, we can say that good teams, they get to the heights of the summit, and they always find ways to lose before they find ways to win. Carolina making the Eastern Conference Finals all those times and getting swept and losing and doing all that, only to storm back and defeat Montreal in such convincing fashion in 2026. It feels like that's the fable we have come to expect out of these teams. So with all that said, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as the Montreal Canadiens drop Game 5 to the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm saying that the game isn't even over, but I'm going to put it out there in the universe anyway. The 3rd period is about to start, so I'm going to peace out over here, and bye.